Williams Zepeda coach, Coach Panda just came out recently and was discussing some things about this fight coming up. And, I half agree with him. I half, I understand where he's coming from on this. He was speaking on whether this fight was necessary between him and Tevin Farmer. I think that Tevin Farmer had a very good performance his last fight. Definitely wasn't surprised by Tevin Farmer. He always shows up. One of the most underrated fighters. I would say Tevin Farmer's, him and the guys like, I can't come up with a couple of names right now, but I would say you could throw a Danny Jacobs in there. You could throw a Lamont Roach in there. You could throw probably even the Eastside Cruz in there, Barrios. These are guys that over the last, 5 years plus and longer than that, have always been in the position where they can take either fight, any fight they want, as far as not really trying to say, well, I got to do this and this guy got to earn this fight. Guys who've been carrying the sport of boxing. And that's the reason why I'm in support of Tevin Farmer getting any fight or any rematch. To be honest with you, Tevin Farmer deserves more rematches than any fighter in boxing. His last 2 or 3 fights have been close. Most of his fights are close. You can say every fight that he's lost could have been a rematch. So that's why in boxing, I'm a little watered down when it comes to rematches. Because when you have a guy like Tevin Farmer who has close fights, this is the first time he actually earned a rematch like this. I guess it was because it was on such a big stage. But Panda was just saying that he felt like it was unnecessary. Like, I'm going to tell you verbatim what he said. He said, I don't think we needed revenge. But it's necessary evil, but it's part of the promoters, television, but I didn't see the need to it. And yeah, I can understand what he's saying, because he's like, if Zepeda's going to fight a style like that, jumping back into it, he probably needs to reevaluate himself a little bit more, because throwing himself in the fire like that, they're not really knowing if the fighter's ready or not. They feel like Zepeda's ready as far as that performance, but when you see the things that happened in the last fight, him getting the injury and everything else, I mean, if the man was fighting injured in the last fight, you're going to have fans of Zepeda say, well, we want to see him perform and prove himself. So that's what a lot of people have to realize. That's why it's highly requested. And also, a lot of people feel like Tevin Farmer won the fight. And for him to, get shunned the way he has recently and treated as if they're trying to make him a gatekeeper. The dude's not a gatekeeper, period. They're trying to make Tevin Farmer a gatekeeper. He's not a gatekeeper. He's not anybody's B-side fighter that needs to go out there and see how good somebody is. You need to be trying to go out there and see if you can win the fight or not when you go in the ring with Tevin Farmer. That's it. And that was the last time we really seen JoJo Diaz the way he really was. The real JoJo Diaz was when he fought Tevin Farmer. And as William Zepeda seen recently, oh, okay, I fought JoJo recently, but I ain't fought no Tevin Farmer. He probably sparred JoJo recently or something. But he like, man, I ain't know Tevin Farmer was like this. Yeah, because Tevin Farmer gets stronger at 135. If he's been at 130, come on, Zepeda, you know that. And your coach should know that. If a guy been at 130 this long and he moves up, that's dangerous. And people feel like, oh, well, he ain't have no power at this weight class. He didn't drop this guy, so, he didn't drop Raymond Meritai, so we should be good. Well, Raymond Meritai is improving. And that's why that fight was tough. And you can say that fight was just as tough as the Zepeda fight, or just as close, or maybe even closer. But for this fight right here, yeah, it just on both sides. Panda doesn't see necessary, because it's like, okay. Because in my eyes, Tevin Farmer's always a guy who was supposed to fight Gervonta Davis. I hope a lot of people realize now why a lot of fans like me wanted Tank to fight Tank to fight Tevin Farmer, because look at Lamont Roach's style. And I'll discuss that later on, because I know people will try to fish for that and be like, oh, I came up with that idea. No, you didn't. But that's the reason.